Welcome back, everyone, to another podcast session with Cosmic Convos. This time, we are going to be diving into understanding the I am connection, something we've all heard of. Before we get into that, if you ever have a topic that you want me to discuss or look into, in the lower right-hand corner, there is my email address that you can send that information or request to, and I will dive into it if it makes sense to you. So, the I am connection. This is something that I find to be extremely important. I think a lot of us bypass this step when we're going through our own spiritual journey and we're looking to realign or to align with not just the earth, but also the spiritual realm. There's something in between these two energetic realms that I personally believe is the I am connection. And this can be extremely powerful when harnessed in the right way. So, we're going to dive into a couple different topics and understandings about it, just to give you some background information to hopefully further your own personal research into it. The I am connection, this is the way that I will explain it and describe it because it's the way that I understand it to be. And for me, the I am connection is that beautiful empty space that you can find between not being grounded and also not being too elevated in the higher realms. It's the piece that becomes the bridge, and we are the bridge. So, if you think of how to bridge the earth with the spiritual realm, what requires this to happen is to be firmly planted, grounded, rooted in both the earth and that spiritual realm. And this is where we come up with our chakras. And that's why there's a lot of mantras as well as mudras to further enhance the I am connection. But to put it in simple terms, your upper chakras connect to the spiritual realm, your lower chakras connect to the earth. The I am connection takes place in the heart center. When I first started my spiritual journey, this is where my guides had me focus. And even to this day, when I forget to focus in this area, they take me through deep meditations, as well as deep practices for me to reconnect in that heart space center. So the heart space is much more prominent than just a place of love, self-love, universal love, divine love. The reason why you probably have heard many times that everything revolves around love, everything is love, and that's the space to be in, is acting from a place of nothing but love, is because the heart center is quite literally the bridge between the spirit and the physical. It is the I am connection. Another way that you can view the I am connection is when you're on a sea and you're in a boat and you're floating above the water, but you're also experiencing the thunder and the skies and the wind above you in the sky. The boat becomes the I am connection. It's the thing that allows you to experience the water and the wind at the same time without drowning or flying away. So, this is important to understand what the I am connection truly is and how it connects to your heart, because when you're looking to embrace the I am connection, a few things will happen. First thing is it does make it a lot easier to move through life in a very pure, peaceful, kind of internally restful place, is the best way I can describe that. It makes it easier to respond with compassion, with empathy, but also with boundaries when it's a healthy, balanced heart space. You're not being overridden, but you're not being harsh and crude. And when you find that beautiful, peaceful place and that balance, the way that you show up through the world is much different. You learn to see things that most people do not see. You learn to feel things that are maybe connotated to a negative experience, but truly is not that. It becomes your source of opening up to much more of a different experience than you've ever experienced before. You see, feel, hear, smell things differently, literally, when you create that balance between the heart chakra. This gives way to the I am connection because when you are in the I am connection, you are everything around you, but you are also understanding that you're an individual having a very individual experience, even though it's deeply connected to other individual experiences that are happening around you, not just with people, with animals, plants, buildings, items, experiences, conversations. Even the words that you speak begin to have a profound importance within your life of understanding how one conversation, one word, one sentence becomes its own energetic existence, separate but connected to you. So the I am connection can be extremely profound depending on how much you nurture it, how much you try to connect with it, and how deep you choose to go into it. I personally have gone into it pretty deep, just because I've been guided to do that in order to show up in the world the way that I've chosen to show up into the world, which is to help others in their spiritual journey. So usually I have to experience things before I can teach them. And the I am connection is a very beautiful space to be in. In the beginning, it's difficult to hold that space. It's very difficult to stay in that space. For this, I recommend listening to things like the triad wave, a lot of frequencies, a lot of sound around you, so you can begin to control and create the energetic environment that you want to be in, which can make it easier to hold that heart space, that I am space, much longer. Another thing that I would recommend for this, if this is a path that you're choosing to go down, is to really explore the I am connection, is to be very gentle and have grace about how you approach yourself when you break out of the I am connection. I say this because it's very easy to get discouraged and down on ourselves when we are not staying in the space that we believe we're supposed to stay in. But that's a part of the journey, and that's a part of the experience, is being able to feel the difference of when you're in the space versus when you're not in the space. So naturally, as we transition into that space of being able to hold it, we're going to fall out of it. We're going to have a little bit of a challenge to really stay in it. But the reward is definitely worth it, to keep trying. And the last thing that I'll recommend for the I am connection is be prepared to experience your own spiritual journey in a very different way when you really open up and dive into that connection. And this goes much further and much deeper than just aligning your chakras and balancing them and working on yourself and trying to be in a place of love. The I am connection is much deeper than the way that we typically discuss it and talk about it. It's truly connecting as being a part of, as being whole. It's the collective space that you hold within your individual experience. It goes much deeper, and I want to emphasize that it goes much deeper than just opening your heart chakra and being in a place of love. It's easy to have an individual experience and create a space where you are constantly in that space of love, but it's much different when you build that space and open it up to the collective, open it up to the community, to every experience around you, and still hold that connection with love, understanding that these experiences are separate from you, but they are a piece of you. They are the reason why you're having your own experience. And the best thing you can do is respond with love, because you can understand that someone may not have been able to hold or create that love space in the same way that you've been able to. So there comes a deep compassion that you have to have with yourself and others. But that third advice that I have is just that. Understand that it is so deep that you could never stop exploring it. You have to go beyond the surface of just the chakras and have your own individual experience of truly diving into that heart space and understanding it to be a bridge between the physical and the spiritual, and looking at it just as that in order to dive deeper into it. And it will definitely give you lots of rewards as you continue to do that. Thanks for listening, guys. This is another session for Cosmic Convos. If you ever want a personal reading or to purchase any of my products, check out my website. I also have more free content on there as well, cosmicconvo.com. Have a great one. Bye.